Anything, any announcements?
Yes, there is an announcement. Yes. For the podcast, for QRE Network, for the podcast, I got an email from them last week saying, congratulations, we hit 10,000 downloads. Yay. So we hit the 10,000 mark, which is pretty good, which is significant. I kept on thinking 50,000 in my mind, and then I had to go back and read the email, and it was like 10,000. I was like, oh, okay. But that's still a good sign that 10,000 downloads, that's pretty good. That's a lot of people listening to the podcast and everything. So
wonderful.
Evidently, a lot of people like the, trying to remember the top 5, but Atlantis conversation, the past life regression with Atlantis. Another one with Atlantis dealt with like conversations of Atlantis. And then after that, it was like the new earth, the new energies, and so on. So those were like the top 5.
Those are hot topics. Hot topics.
Mm-hmm. So I was kind of shocked, and evidently the Atlantis one had over 600 downloads.
Nice.
600, I should say. Pretty close to 600.
Yeah. So, keep it up, guys.
Yep. So thank you very much. If you are one of those that are listening to the podcast, thank you very much. Matter of fact, over the weekend, I uploaded more sessions or episodes to that podcast. But yes, that was a great milestone. That means we're on the right track.
And yeah, and thank you for all the viewers here on the YouTube channel as well.
Yes, thank you.
That's climbing as well, so that's awesome. Very good.
Yep. Thank you very much. And I always show all my love and give y'all all the hearts for all the comments. So
yeah,
a lot of beautiful
I do that comments too, but you may not know it's me. I can only do the thumbs up on your page, but yeah, I'm there. I'm doing it. So very good.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to hold you up any longer. You want to go get Daniel, see if he's okay to give us some messages?
Let's get that character in here and see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions today? You didn't tell me if you did, so that'll be interesting.
There was some questions, but I forgot to ask them. I'll wait till Daniel comes.
You're gonna spring it on us.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with what Daniel's bringing up, and then I'm just gonna see where I can place it.
All right, let's go get him. Whew. Okay, so this is what they're starting off with. So it's not Daniel yet, but I feel like I'm underwater and probably in the warmer tropical sea waters where there's sea urchins and sea anemones and different things like that. I'm not sure why I'm seeing that. I just feel like I'm in water. I can stand up in it, but I know that I'm around coral and different things within the water. So let's see if we can find out why.
Oh, you might need a vacation.
Always needing vacation. Yeah, let's go put my feet in those waters. Okay. Well, we definitely like to bring her back to her days of living in the water. Yes, the mermaid lifetimes. You're bringing up Atlantis and bringing up that energy. And it definitely brings it into focus around the water as well as around the beautiful Atlantis itself. But there is definitely, we have spoken before about watching the waters. And so it is another way for us to introduce that the waters are changing and that there are more healing qualities in the water already. And that is going to keep increasing, and that many of you have been already awakened to the fact that you are part of this journey of bringing back the healing waters. We had talked about that before, about the people that hadn't been awakened yet are being now awakened to this. And Tracy is experiencing every week more and more people that are becoming awake to their connection to healing waters. And so we are just showing her a little moment in her tranquil healing waters as well. Very turquoisey blue, clear, beautiful waters. Now let's look at this collective that is playing with us in this video that we're doing today. As we go out into that energy field of who's going to be tuning into this, who's going to be listening. And we want to look at, we need to understand what you are showing us. We're seeing stars. We're seeing stars above heads. And so we want to understand, what does that mean? There is a collective of you that are going into a next level, next level, next level. We get excited when we say that. When you go into the next level, you're going to go into a collective that you haven't been working with yet. And so many of you have already been working with the Arcturians, the Palladians, the Syrians, and the Nordics, the Tall Whites, the 12th dimensional beings, the mantis beings, the insectoids, blah, blah, blah. Everything you hear us talking about here, you have already been working with that. That's why you're drawn to these videos. That's why you're tuning in. So the good news is that you are going to level up. You're going to be moving into another dimensional frequency now, where you are going to be tapping into yet another collective that you have not been working with yet. There is a group of you that are listening that have been working with the Elven community. You are going to be working with some of the, what do we want to call it? The chords of the earth, if they're like tuning forks. So you're going to be bringing in, we say they are like tuning forks. You are going to be the tuning fork. Your body, your physical energy, your vibration is going to be the tuning fork for the earth and the earth elements at this time, and all the little beings of the earth, the plants and the little insects and animals that live within the Earth's surface. You are a tuning fork to raise the vibration of the planet. The vibration of the planet needs to continue to be raised up, raised up, raised up, because of the energies that are coming in. And we had talked about that a little bit in the last video, about the energies coming in and the fluctuation of incomes and money and different cycles. But you're also going to be getting energy upgrades. You're going to be getting your physical upgrades. Some of you are going to notice a shift in your appetite. Some of you are going to notice a shift in the way that you are thinking and the way that you are reacting to the world. And we mean this in a good way. This is something that is leveling you up, something that is going to shift you in a positive direction, something that is going to open up doors and windows of opportunity. And so as you are the tuning forks of the planet and you are raising the vibration, you are opening the doors for all of those light workers who are on their path and on their journey to getting to the next thing, to continuing to do the work and to continuing to be the best version of themselves and being good people of the planet and helping those who are in most need of the help. There is a collective of you, so that is the Elven group tuning forks, and then the tuning fork group collective. You don't have to do anything necessarily to become the tuning fork. You have already agreed to it on other levels of your subconscious mind, of your spiritual selves. The higher frequencies of you have already set this up and designed it. So there is nothing that you have to do to become this, but you may notice that your energy either will get boosted or you will have a shift in the way that you are feeling a little bit. If you find it to be too intense, just ask them to lighten it up, If it is something that is keeping you up at night, again, ask your collective to turn it down so you can sleep, so your body can rest. Just the normal things that you will do when the energy comes in. If you haven't done that before, those are some of the tricks of the trade, right? To bring in this energy. You are a conduit, you are already acclimated, you are already set up, you have already been adjusted for this energy, but it may still seem like a lot of energy to bring in. Now, for those of you that are not part of that collective, but are wondering, well, what is going on for me? What am I doing? What is it that I need to be looking at? There is a group of you that are going to start finding yourselves being drawn to new courses and classes. Maybe you want to do shaman work. Maybe you want to do energy work. Maybe you want to step into some other modality that is drawing your attention, that will bring you in the line of work of being of service to others, because you are being set up to raise up a next level of light workers. So those who have been down in the trenches and still kind of in the lower vibrations of their ascension are needing leveled up now, and you're going to be helping them level up. So there are some of you that are going to be feeling like you are drawn to take a course or a class or do something of that nature, so that you will have a modality you can offer to help move them, shift them, and raise them up out of those trenches, so to speak. And then there will be a new collective that takes that place. So we don't think that collective has found this video yet, so we won't get into their job. And we know that didn't sound right, but it is all good. They are being supported by their collective as well.
We'll save that one for later.
We'll save that one for later. We like that. Those who are working with the sun portals, the sun is emitting a different frequency right now. So if you haven't been out in the sun, please go out in the sun, get the codes. You are going to get them one way or another. It is going to integrate with you, rather you come across somebody else who has already been downloaded with the codes. But if you are in a position where you can go and get some sunlight, rather at whatever point of the day, just go out and get a few minutes of sunlight, and you'll be able to integrate the new codes. Those codes are giving you the subconscious mind, that's how we want to say it, the subconscious mind is getting the directions of what direction to take you in next. And so it is important to get the sun codes as you go outside, even if just for a few minutes. We know some of you live where it is very, very, very hot, and it is not pleasant to go stand out in the sun for very long. But if you can get some sunlight, intentional sunlight, where you're just allowing yourself to absorb it in, maybe for a minute, maybe for two, if it is extremely hot, and then you can go back into your air conditioning. But we want you to get some of the sun. We want to open the platform here for you to ask questions. Jason, do you have questions?
Yes, so you mentioned the sun energy. Is Tracy supposed to do any sessions out in the sun again?
Are we referring to the she is laughing. She was recalling that the other day, sitting in the sun, doing those sessions. But no, we will give her a little break from sitting in direct sunlight, giving her channeling in her messages. She does not need to do that again.
I was just wondering, because if she had to do it outside, I understand. So with that being said, you mentioned that the sun portals and the energy changing with the sun. Is there any more information with that? Like what's going on with the sun?
The sun is just doing what it is designed to do. It is the sun is designed to bring in a large amount of energy and can be a big source of the energy influxes. And as what is called the solar flares or the sun energy coming in, there is a lot of energy. How do we want to say this? It's almost as if there is energy coming through these portals, and when the energy comes through the portals, these are coming from different collectives who are sending their support and sending in energy and frequencies to help support the planet in its evolution and its ascension. As it comes through the sun portal, that creates the flares which carry those frequencies to the planet. And so with that, there is more number of outer planetary systems, other galaxies, other universes even, that are bringing in energy through the sun portal. They are bringing it in, and that is actually sending out more solar flares than usual. Now that is causing all the energy to be in uproars, right? But we also know that you you could pay attention also to the astrology of things that are going on the planet right now. It is all working together. It is all doing a dance, as one might say, to create a shift within humankind. So not just humankind, but actually the evolution of the planet itself. The planet is going through a lot of change. The earth itself is going through a lot of change. And as it is moving into other dimensional realities, that shift, along with all the astrology, the sun flares, the Schumann resonance, the volcano activities, the ley lines moving energy. You see what we mean? There's so much going on at the same time. It is like an orchestra playing. And all of that is affecting the vibrational fields of the human body and of the animal kingdom as well. But it is really affecting the human body. And it may be, you may feel like you are that little diamond in the coal that's being crushed into the diamond, right? That's being put, all the pressure put on it. And that would be a good analogy for it. You are that piece of coal that's got all the pressure put on it so that you can become the diamond. And what that does is it crumbles away all the darkness, right? It crumbles away all of the fear-based energies that are holding you into the third dimension, that are holding you, we keep seeing it like little hooks that are hooking you into the third dimension. So just imagine cutting the cords to those hooks and releasing the fear and being in the flow of what is going on is so very important right now. And being in the flow of your own self-discovery, self-love, worthiness, all of that goodness, all of that stuff about self is all very, very on the forefront right now as we move into this next piece, this next segment of the evolution of moving into the fifth dimensional frequencies or the new earth, because everyone on the new earth must know their worthiness. They must know their love for self and others in this place. And so in order to get there, they are being pressured into this at this time. What are you willing to take? What are you not willing to take? And noticing that your moods are now getting to the point where you're no longer going to tolerate something that you used to tolerate. And you're no longer going to put up with something that you used to put up with. That doesn't mean that you are slipping in your ascension because you're getting cranky and moody and you're taking care of yourself is what you are doing, but it is coming out in a way of aggression for some of you. And that's okay, because you're going to reflect on that and you're going to move it and you're going to realize that you were in resistance to taking care of yourself, and that resistance created the aggression. It created the resentment towards other people. When you get into the flow, when you get into the balance of taking care of yourself, being respectful and kind to yourself first, then it will naturally come for everyone else. And all of those outside opinions will no longer matter to you. Looking outside of yourself will no longer happen. You won't be asking anybody else their opinions on things. Won't that cut down on conversation? Yes. You won't have to ask anybody about what they think about your life, and therefore you won't have much to say. You'll just be nodding your head a lot as you listen to their story. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Did we answer your question? We know we
Yes, you did. And I
Mm-hmm.
think you answered part of my next question as well, because you mentioned the ascension. It sounds like we're getting a lot of help for the ascension process. That's what the energies from the sun portal, energies from the sun. It sounds like it's to help out with our ascension, correct?
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we're trying to point out also is so many of you are so aware of certain collectives that are here to help, certain collectives that have been here helping all along. The inner earth collectives, the ones that are in the ships all around the planet, the ones that have been coming and going, and the ones that are communicating like we're communicating through Tracy. And all of these collectives, the channels and everything that has been coming through, you're aware of those. Now it's time to be aware of what else is out there, what else is coming through, who else is helping. There are other frequency beings that are also here as a collective, as support systems, and they are starting to show themselves a little bit more and a little bit more as you become more acquainted with these galactic beings, with these benevolent souls. You are going to be able to reach more and more of them and become more aware of them. Some of you have already seen some of them in what you consider to be dreams, but they are not dreams, they are visits, because you come from these planets and now you are getting to a vibration and an energetic match to where you can revisit and remember them. And so you'll be bringing some new species into this circulation. You'll be introducing some new counterparts that maybe are not, maybe some people in the population know about them, but as a general, they will be new to the population. And so it'll be some exciting times as everybody is stepping into their own abilities to draw in these these new frequencies and connect with these new counterparts. It'll be fun to watch you all as you start commenting. Where, Jason? Down in the comments section down below. Comment if you have seen some interesting characters coming around in your mind, or sensing them, or even seeing them. Some people do see them with the physical eye. So maybe.
Are you able to name any of the new beings or new collectives that are helping out?
We can describe them. We do not know how to name them, as this is, naming is not our thing. We go off of their frequency.
Okay.
So we go off of their signature, but there are some that are coming in with a very soft skin. They have very soft skin, and they have kind of a transition. It would almost look like a dragon, a salamander, and what would be another version of something. It is like a mix of the soft skin, but they have the longer nose. They have very much cat-like eyes, and they are more of they look more like something from an animal kingdom, not the human kingdom, but they are highly intelligent, and they know how to move through dimensions. They know how to move through different galaxies. They know how to merge energies together to create something bigger, to create, what do we want to say? They can take what we would look at as the wizard realm, or the those who work with the magic, and they can take that and they can merge it with yet another form of energy that we are not familiar with in these realms, and they make something even bigger out of it. And this brings us more into the energy that was used for creation itself, for making something like a solar system or their own galaxy, and moving into a bigger form of creation, and how to handle the bigger forms of creation, how to move into being in a multi-dimensional body. How do we even want to say it? It's so hard to even describe, Jason.
Oh my goodness.
It is a very extraordinary being that is that has got so many different abilities that we don't even know how to identify in your reality what these gifts would be. But it would be, Tracy says, I saw a question the other day that said, what's beyond God? What's beyond source? And we don't want to say anything is beyond source. That is, source is everything, correct? But this would be something that would be a form of a being that knows how to work with creation, has beautiful benevolence, and wants to create beautiful environments. And that is what is needed. These beings are needed to create the fifth dimension in the earth realm, because they are the ones that are going to be able to take this energy that is on this planet and start to restructure it and reform it into that vibration that is required to sustain the fifth dimension. And so if you are one of the ones that is starting to be introduced to these beings, then you are one of the ones that is being selected to start holding and sustaining the fifth dimensional frequency.
Perfect. I do have a question about the energies that are coming through. How is the population as a whole, the collective as a whole, going to react to these energies that are going to be coming or already here? How is the population of the Earth or United States going to react to these new energies coming through the sun portals and so on?
Well, I think we'll be seeing a lot of the same things that we've already been seeing with the populations, that they are moving kind of like a wave comes in big and strong, and you have the ones that are really reacting, and then as it comes closer into shore, then the wave gets smaller. Yes, and so you have the big reactors, and then the ones that are more acclimated and have the ripples versus the waves. So we're going to keep seeing that. We're going to see the ones that get hit really hard with it, and struggle with it. And then maybe there's going to be people that lose their jobs, lose their homes. They have to hit rock bottom before that nut's going to crack, right? And so we say to you, if you don't want to hit rock bottom, don't push against things. Move with it. What's showing up for you? Move with it. Be open to where it's taking you, because it's that wave. Ride the wave. Don't resist the wave, because when you resist it, then things start to crash. A wave banging into a boat, that can break a boat apart, right? Well, it's going to break you apart. Yes, it's going to take you down and make you start over. That's what this energy will do if you are in resistance to it. That answer?
Yes. So in other words, kind of like go with the flow.
Well, an age-old goodie, right? Go with the flow. Yeah.
Interesting. So would you happen to have any more information about how we're coming along with our ascension by any chance? Is there anything else that needs to be done? Anything?
We think that we're at that point of the ascension where the leveling up is always going to be happening, yes, and that is always going to be provided. But we feel like we have crossed that point at this point in the timeline of, is the ascension going to happen or isn't it? Yes, it is going to happen. It is happening. You're in it. It's happening right now. Mm-hmm. You're breathing in the air of ascension as you are listening to this video. And now you're watching the transition of how that is going to evolve. And it evolves through, as we talked about before, collapsing of systems and recreation of other systems and moving into new technologies and disclosures and the separation between the good and evil, right? And all of these things that are happening, those are signs of the ascension taking place. You have your transition period of moving out the old version to bring in the new version. And that is what you see happening. You see a lot of purging of the toxicities of the energies of Mother Earth coming up. We talked about that before as well. Some of the people on this planet have volunteered to be here to move that energy up and out. A lot of them are doing it through illnesses, through cancers, through other types of illnesses, through depression even, and heavy energies. And if you are one of those that suffers with these types of things, ask your angels, ask your galactic teams to help you to purge the toxicities of the planet so that you are no longer carrying it in the physical body. That is going to lighten your load. It's going to move that energy through, see it transmuting. And we almost see it like purging like black, oily, sticky goo. As we're talking to you about it, is like moving out black tar out of the earth and moving that out and purging it. So if you are feeling illness or feeling burdened or feeling depression or heaviness in any way in your life, like you have this black cloud that hovers over you, just keep calling in your team and keep seeing it like you are purging out this black tar energy and transmuting it, putting it into the source energy light to just be transmuted and healed. And then see that light moving down into the planet, moving into all the ley lines and the meridians of Mother Earth. And if you are one of those that's working with the collective, which we have told this collective many times, it's time to cut the cords with that collective. But if you still feel like you are meant to work with the collective, send that white light into the collective as well. We ask you though, please try not to get too attached. Don't cord yourself to the collective if you can help it, because the collective is doing its purge. And it is beyond the point of you helping that collective. You're not going to fix them at this point. They need to do their purging. And so we want you to be careful not to cord to the collective at this time so that you don't carry their burdens, because your job is to go into self-mastery, love, worthiness, compassion, kindness, all of that goodness. Does that help?
Yes, it does. That was perfect. And this would be the last question of the night, because this would be a short session. You mentioned disclosure. So my question is, there's disclosure coming around. Does that have anything to do with ascension? Is there a purpose for the disclosure?
Everything has to do with ascension, doesn't it? It doesn't really seem to matter. It's all part of the bigger plan. It is all part of the vibration of the planet, which means it's part of ascension. And as people become more aware, they become less in fear. And as they educate and learn, and get past the dark things that they're, how many rabbit holes can you jump down in 1 week, right? You can go down all these different theories and different ideas and thoughts and news reports and everything else. But as you acclimate yourself to these ideas and to these thoughts, you no longer have to fear them. Now you have information. And we say, once you have the information, quit looking down the rabbit hole, because you are not going to help yourself any further if you keep feeding the rabbit hole with the energy of being upset or angry or in fear of anything. So you
Makes
have the
sense.
information, you move on. Yes, it is all part of ascension, because there needs to be awareness. There needs to be truth. Truth needs to come out, because truth is what's going to counterbalance the lies, right? It is going to balance out that in the yin yang and the vibratory fields. And so the truth needs to come out so that it can now counterbalance all the lies that have ever been told.
Very interesting. Well, it is 8 on the dot. So is there anything else you would like to share? If not, we can wrap it up. I know Tracy has something to do. So
we would like to just share with everybody that there is beautiful energy coming in to assist with the third eye right now. So if you want to focus on your third eye and bring in that energy, the crystalline energy, we're seeing a magenta energy coming in to work with you with the third eye, to bring in another level of your psychic abilities, your telepathy, and your ability to pull in your intuitive informations, your visual hits, all of those good things. So good news all around in this one. We think there's a lot of good news in today's little session here. And
absolutely,
we just invite you to embrace the energies, ride the wave, as we say, go with the flow, as Jason says, work with the third eye and work with opening up your mind and letting go of resistance. Oh, and let go of control. Control is one that will get a lot of people too. I want to control it. I'm not able to control that. I want it to look like this. I want it to fit in this box. Well, it's not going to always work like that. So please be open to being in that flow of things. It will be a much more gentle ride, and you're really going to start enjoying it if you let go of the resistance to it. And we think that will be a good spot to end, unless that brought up another question real quick. If not, we will let you end this.
Nope. Unless you have anything to share with disclosure, maybe some ET buddies, some of your buddies gonna disclose something, maybe do some tricks in the sky.
we think that there will be some more pictures that come out that
oh, nice.
that will expose a few of our good looks. Yes, you will find some pictures in the near future. We believe that will start to come out that actually hold not just ships, but actual beings in them. And so we think that will be a fun disclosure for those of you who are following all of that. Might frighten a few people, but for this particular collective, it'll be like, oh, there's my family. And you'll get to see some pictures that actually hold the physical beings of not just the Octorians, but many of the different collectives that are out there.
Perfect. I like it.
That'll make it real, won't it? No more cartoon drawings, no more imagining what you think it looks like or what you're seeing in your mind, but an actual picture. And so that will be some disclosure for all of you as well, because you're already well aware of the ships. You're already well aware that we exist, but now pictures of something other than the grays would be quite a exciting journey, don't you think?
Yes, that would be interesting. Yes.
Wonderful. And with that, we'll go ahead and bring Tracy back. We thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being part of our journey and letting us be part of yours. And we will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. I want the pictures to come out. I never thought about that because, I see them in my head, but that would be something else to see a picture of them.
Would it be the pictures of the Octorians, or would it be another group?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there would be several of them.
gosh.
That's the impression I got when they were saying that, is that there was going to be, they must have pictures of these beings somewhere.
Right.
So more than just, the ones that we see of the grays.
Especially if our government is working with them. They, um, they got more than pictures, I'm sure.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. Maybe some videos of some interaction and stuff. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I think that would be some fun disclosure to get something like that out there. So yeah.
Be like, ta-da! Can't hide it now.
Can't hide it now. There's a
So,
family.
in your mind, like I know we brought up disclosure, but how would, in your mind, how would that relate in to the ascension part? Like, what were you seeing on your side?
Oh, for the
Is it
disclosure,
to raise people's knowledge up to like, oh wow, we're not alone kind of thing, or is it just
yes.
okay?
And I think it would get more people curious as they're seeing they're not a threat. These beings aren't threatening. And then they're going to find out, well, they've been here all along. If they wanted to do something to us, they could have, and then they're going to start realizing, oh, hey, maybe that's what's on the Egyptian walls. Or, oh, hey. So,
Hey, that guy's blue. Wait a minute, I saw a blue guy before.
yeah, he's got a bird beak. I think I've seen this somewhere. I do. I think it's going to show everybody that it's been here all along. And because it's been here all along, we don't need to fear it, because if they wanted to do something, they could have. So I think that that's going to help bring in the ascension, and that level of people are they're going to start digging in deeper. Well, what else is there? If this is happening, what else is there? And they're going to all get into those conspiracy theories and everything else, and start listening to the gurus that have been talking to us for so long about disclosure stuff. And so yeah, I think it's going to open some minds.
The next part was sun portals. What were you seeing on that side? Were you seeing anything?
I was seeing a whole bunch of the portals look like little tubes, almost like straws or whatever, and they're all coming into the sun. And whereas we'd get one or two sending energy in, and sending us energy, it was almost like somebody opened the faucet and like all this energy is coming, which is going to cause a big flare, which, I think we'll get hit with some heavier flares. And then I think we're going to get a big flare. I'm not sure what all that's going to bring, but I did feel the energy behind that being like that, what I think they were saying, like it's pressure. If you haven't been doing your work and you got stuff to purge still, you're going to purge it. And I have to tell you, I do the work, and I'm pretty religious about it, and I will still get hit with this energy, and then stuff will come up. And it's like stuff that you don't even realize is there anymore. Stuff from childhood, or something simple, something that
anger, or like
the other day for me, it was, I'll share what it was. It was, I had an ascension session with a client that was supposed to step into her work. And she was saying, well, I can't read myself, so how can I trust it? And they were explaining to her, you're not going to be able to read yourself. You need to read other people. That's one of the curses, right, of being a reader, is you can't really read yourself, because you have your own you have your preconceived ideas, what you would like to have happen, those attachments to it. So you can't read yourself. Okay. But you don't have an attachment to somebody else's outcome, and you can get a cleaner read of it, right? So I told her, well, read me. You don't have an attachment to my stuff. Read me and see if it changes how you feel about reading. So she picked up on this energy, and as soon as she picked up on it, bam, I can see it in my head, and it's sitting right here. And she's describing what she's seeing in her mind. And I'm asking it, why are you there? And it says, well, I'm angry. I was like, why are you angry? And it was on the right side, but it was feminine energy that was angry at the masculine energy, because being a single mom, my whole story, yuckity, yuckity, yuck, getting to where I am now. I spent a lot of years having to be everybody else's rock, having to do everything, I get to play mom and dad and mowing the lawn and taking out the garbage and doing the dishes and laundry, and it's like the feminine side of me was angry that it never got a turn.
Oh.
I know. And I was like, man, I could have never even guessed that that was there, it's like, but now I'm better about that. Now I take time for me and I go and I do things and I play and I have fun and I go to pedicures and get my hair done and whatever, go get massages, whatever, and take care of me. But that part of me that had all those years of the heaviness of being single mom and even during my marriage when it wasn't going well and I felt like I was doing that by myself even back then, that part of me, just like when you go to heal the inner child, you go find that inner child, you nurture the inner child. Well, I needed to go nurture my inner adult. And so, yes, that inner mommy that felt like she got neglected. And it was really interesting. And it really shifted and cleared for me. But again, I had no idea that was there. And it took somebody else looking at my energy field to catch it because I'm so used to it. And so that's where it's good to work with other people, because even though we're doing our own stuff every day, well, we're so used to our stuff that we don't even know what's baggage anymore, right? So when somebody else comes in and they're like, oh, hey. So she did an excellent job. And I got to clear that piece, or at least I hope I cleared that piece. And it got to have a voice and it got to tell me how it felt. And it was very emotional. And it was interesting. So that kind of stuff, even if you're doing your work, you might find stuff's coming up, you didn't know was there or didn't recognize as being something that emotionally got stuck down. So
yeah.
So,
yeah. And if you think about it, maybe that was left there as an opportunity for that individual to be able to work on you and to discover that. Whereas like you guys are like, oh, I can solve this right now. Thunder. And you're like, well, wait a minute, this would be perfect for this. We can leave it there for right now and let this other individual take care of it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was so synchronistically lined up. I think, I needed to clear it and she needed to see she had a gift. And so I think it was well played. Well played, guys.
So with that being said, the mommy energy has to go to the beach with the water with the mermaids?
Yes, with the mermaids and the coral and beautiful warm waters.
If we had more time, I was going to ask Daniel, I was like, are we supposed to explore that or what?
I think we need to go into the water. Well, I think it was all that Atlantean talk about them being the popular shows, because I felt like I was in the water, but I felt like I was looking out of it like this, and then I would go down and I could look above and below. So I don't know if I was tapping into a mermaid life. I know I've had more than one. So that could have just been.
It was so nice you had to do it twice.
Had to do it. Somebody had to get in that water.
Perfect. Let's see. I think we got enough for one more. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to ask this, but the shift in the appetite, like you said, it was a good thing. Was that to make people hungry, or is that to make people less hungry?
I kind of got that it was going to go both ways.
Okay, depending on who you are.
Depending on who you are. But you might be hungry, but you might be hungry for fruits and vegetables, or you might all of a sudden just lose your appetite altogether. And, some people might decide to go on a liquid diet or do, like the protein shake type things or something like that. I'm just seeing that, we're all from different, I know we're all from all of these different places, but we really resonate with certain ones. Like, I'm really strong with the Arcturian energy. Somebody else might be really strong with like an amphibian group or something where they're plant-based or doing something of that nature. And so they might feel a real shift with that, where it's like, that's all they want now, whereas before they might have, they were really in the third dimensional experience. Now we might start feeling ourselves kind of being more in tune with our collectives that we resonate the strongest with, and taking on that kind of an eating structure.
Perfect. I wonder what group is connected to Taco Bell.
Right? The crunchy tacos.
I was craving some Taco Bell. I was like, where do I go? I need to get something quick.
You know, when I was pregnant with my second one, oh my gosh, you could have taken me to Taco Bell every single day.
Oh, with the pregnancy for the second child?
Yeah, that was my craving, was Taco Bell. So of all the funny cravings, it wasn't ice cream, it wasn't pickles, it was Taco Bell. And if somebody was to say, what do you want to eat? Well, are you willing to drive to Taco Bell? So yeah.
Too funny.
But,
Too funny.
yeah.
So, well, I think that was it. Other than I asked the question how the population is going to react to the energy. So if there wasn't anything on that side, but it sounded like it depends on who they were. Some were going to take it rough. Some were going to go with the flow, kind of thing. Go with the wave.
Yeah, as long as people don't go into resistance, they're going to do just fine. They may not like everything that's changing, but then you know how that is. Everything goes up in the air, and then when it all settles, then you're like, oh, I see what was happening. Okay.
Yeah.
That had to happen in order to get me here.
I was just wondering if it was going to be chaotic.
For some, it will.
Yeah.
It will. I mean, it is already, right? So
that is true.
For some people, it's going to take their life and it's going to flip them upside down. And they may go through a little dark night of the soul with it. But you know what? The dark night of the soul is not going to last like long periods of time. It may be a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they're going to be purged through it and ready to move on. Everything is happening a lot faster now. So
yeah. Yes. Or we got to make up for lost time.
Right. So
not talking about today's session. I'm talking about humanity's history.
Right.
So.
A lot of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tracy, I will let you go. If there's anything else you would like to add, but I would like to add one thing before I let you go. If you have any questions for the next session, for the next episode, please leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
And then if you had any questions about this video as well, please leave a comment down below. And then hopefully Tracy or I will be able to answer your question, or we'll save it for the next video.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always good to have some questions going in. So perfect. All right, you guys.
All right.
Bye. Until next time.